And now, coming live from Wrestling-News.net and presented by Spreaker, it's the Main Event Madness Hell in a Cell pregame show. You can interact with us on Twitter during the show by using the hashtag MEMHIAC. And now, here are your hosts, John Curry, Mark Madison, and Wayne Daly. Alright guys, how are we doing? It is October 25th. Yeah, let's try to... working this soundboard, guys, after not doing it for 6 weeks, it's almost like trying to learn how to ride a bike again. But anyway, guys, welcome to Main Event Madness' Hell in a Cell pregame show. As I was saying, October 25th, one of the best WWE weeks of the year, at least for myself and, some gamers around. But hope you guys are doing great. Thank you for taking time out of your weekends to come hang out with us a little bit. And with me today is my new partner in crime, my new compadre, my co-pilot. Going forward is Mr. Mark Madison. Hello, sir.
How you doing, John? Hopefully I'll be the yin to your yang. See if we can work that out.
But if you're the yin to the yang, as we discussed off the air, that means you'd have to be the good guy, and I have to be the bad guy.
I don't know if I can work the baby face. I mean, I can smile a lot, but I don't know if
You'd be like a Randy Orton heel then. Wayne, you got to be on the show every week, so we have a baby face, so that way me and Mark can still be the heels.
Okay.
And as you guys just heard, with us also from Wrestling-News.net, our quote-unquote producer, as we joked over the, year and a half. I almost said years, but it hasn't been that long. Wayne Daly, Wrestling-News.net. And how are you, sir?
I'm good and ready to get going.
Go get yourself a cup of coffee while me and Mark BS. We got a crap ton of stuff to dive into in the next hour or so. First off, as I mentioned in the open, yes, Mark is the new member of this team. We mentioned in the Night of Champions show, I believe, but Al has decided to pursue other interests. Wasn't fully able to commit to the schedule and everything with the podcast, and decided to hang it up, hang his headphones up. So, wanted to say thank you to Al. It was a fun year and a half or so with you. Had a lot of fun times, a lot of good laughs, a lot of great shows, and he will be missed. But you know what? The show goes on, and the show is going to be twice as better with Mark on board. I'm happy to have you here, Mark. I'm excited for the prospect of a new future, and hopefully, and I hate to say this because I'm not bashing Al in the least when I say this, but hopefully a better future. Take this to brand new heights that I hope and only dreamed of, and I'm really excited to have you on board, man. You have a whole different perspective than I do, and you're a hell of a lot better at the interviews than I am. And but nonetheless, man, I'm happy to have you.
It's a lot to have to try and live up to. I mean, to try and hope to bring it to new heights. I want to have a lot of fun. Well, I think we're going to try and build the listeners, I think, in a way that you'll be happy with, and really try and get a lot of people interested and not give them the typical, we'll probably disagree and argue a lot.
That's
apologize for that. So, and that's okay, because that's really what people like to sometimes hear. I mean, if anybody ever watches Pardon the Interruption, or you ever listen to any sports shows where there is a disagreement, that's what makes it interesting, right? Maybe this guy's an idiot for what he thinks, or, I see where he's coming from, or something to that effect, right? So we'll see what happens.
And that's one thing that we tried to pride ourselves on a little bit, was there's so many shows out there. I mean, everybody and their brother's got a show these days. And the biggest thing we wanted to do is we didn't want to be a recap show where we go through, well, segment 1A.19432BAD1. John Cena walked to the ring, but walked crooked, and then came into the ring, and then cut a promo and said this. No, we want to, like you said, like, pardon the interruption, or, what's it, First Take with Skip Bayless, like you said. You know, I love the idea of that, and just have a talk show, just to BS. Like, I hate. Oh, whoops. Yeah, let's not hit the mic. That probably would be the best idea. I hate to bring like on-air, off-air stuff on here, but like it's like I told you, man. The way I envisioned it was like two guys going to the bar, and we want to talk wrestling. That's what I want to bring to the show, and like I said, you bring a whole nother perspective to it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping, I think my perspective is more, I mean, my name is Mark, and it's kind of uncanny, yes, I am a Mark, but I guess we all are in some way, and even in talking to any of the different wrestlers I've been pretty lucky to talk to, they're fans too. I think just the difference is the smart marks, as like the way wrestling tends to work. The more you know, the more you want to know. Sometimes that's a bad thing. Sometimes that's a great thing. But then sometimes we're left to kind of speculate, and I think that's part of the fun in trying to guess what the next chess move is going to be made when it comes to, for instance, tonight's Hell in a Cell.
Absolutely, man. And you hit the nail right on the head. Like, we're all marks, in a sense. And Wayne's going to hate me saying that about him, but you know what? It's true. Why? Because we're three guys right now, hopefully four, if Aaron comes around. But we're three guys right now that are taking an hour or so out of our night, out of our weekends at that, and we're talking wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but I don't know. I'm excited. I was slacking, and I think you noticed it a little bit. Because, and it's partially Wayne's fault, because I borrowed my buddy's Xbox when my PlayStation broke, and it's partially Wayne's fault. Actually, it's a good chunk Wayne's fault, because Wayne kept wanting to play Grand Theft Auto, and I wanted to, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to get done, a little bit earlier. Some of the stuff got put to the back burner. First off, I guess, worth mentioning, if you guys want to chat with us during the show, hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag MEMHIAC, as you heard in the intro, or tweet us. I'm at John MEM Radio. Wayne is at WN_net, and Mark is at the Mark Madison. So if you guys want to, Wayne, if you heard me on the show, sir, I did blame you. But if you guys want to hit us up, if you don't agree with our points of view, or if you want to give us something to talk about, and maybe some news breaks that we're not aware of, even though we have a reporter on the show. But hey, if you want to hit us up, or if you guys want to call into the show and voice your opinions, or tell me how much I suck because I'm an asshole, I already know this, but if you guys want to tell me that, I'd love to hear it. 305-600-4708. That's 305-600-4708.
John, you could just put a bullseye on your back, man.
I embrace it. Because you know what? Whether people love... And it's... I guess I feel like a wrestling heel saying it. If people love me or if people hate me, or, I even sound like John Cena. The point is, they're talking about me. Or they feel something towards me. I guess then I'd be doing something right. And I guess people thought something was right because Main Event Madness was hacked like 6 times when the website was up. So...
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, somebody didn't like us. It would be like an every other week thing that we'd be like, Wayne, we need to use your website again. Why? What's wrong with the website? I got hacked again. God damn it! It's the 5th time. Yeah, I know. But speaking of maineventmadness.com, I don't really know what's going on with that. I wish I could say, guys, listen live on the website. I don't know what's going on with that. Al's working to try to get that squared away for me. It is looking like there's some kind of issue on the WordPress side. However, you got to have a backup. You got to have a spare tire for the car that is this Main Event Madness podcast. I like how I recovered on that. I got a website coming. It's going to be called the MEM Network, Main Event Madness Network. It's an idea Wayne gave me. And I never ran this by you, Mark. We didn't have a lot of time before the show, but hey, no better time than the present, right?
Well, for sure, we got the time.
I want to try to bring in different podcasts and try to, get together a group. And there's more and more seeming like doing that every week. One of our affiliates, Pro Wrestling Powerhouse, they got a few podcasts over there.
Right.
But just bring together some different guys from different perspectives. Like our sister show, Work in Progress, is a fantasy-based show, and I think coming soon. It's something I've wanted to do for a few months. If I could stop hitting this microphone at some point. It's something I've wanted to do for a few months now. I got a bunch of friends of mine that are big into gaming, and I know increasingly gaming videos, YouTube and Ustream and Twitch and all that is getting ever more popular. So I'm thinking about bringing in some buddies of mine that want to do some like live streaming or I wouldn't say podcast because it's not just audio, it's like a video, but of them playing some games. I'm thinking about that. I got Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV. If you guys don't know who Evan Ginsberg is, he is the associate producer of the award-nominated film. I don't believe it was an award-winning, but that's not important. Film The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke.
He was Oscar-nominated.
Oscar-nominated, thank you. See, that's where I was going with that. And he's also the host of Legends TV. It's a variety show in the style of Joe Franklin on Madhouse TV networks. The fact that, and you guys can check it out on legendstvnyc.com, the fact that I still haven't messed that name up, I'm like 2 times in a row now, even though they're like 8 weeks apart. But, I'm going to try to build a little streak with that. But I got that, it's got its own little chapter on the website I'm building, so just to try to build something different. That's the one biggest thing Evan's told me, is to try to get something different that's out there. And wrestling, arts, and gaming. I mean, in the style of Evan Ginsberg, who could have a porn star, a wrestler, and a lawyer, say hypothetically, on his show. That's the type of eclectic groups that you get on Legends TV, which you guys can check that out every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, MadhouseTV.com and LegendsTVNYC.com. 3 times in a row. All right.
Good John.
I know. Yeah, a little streak here. But enough about me, enough about this site. We are back next week, finally. It's been a long time coming. Our last show, I believe, was September 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Wayne, am I right on that?
Let's see, you actually could be, this
is why I should probably have notes. But we are back next week, and we do have a guest. So no better way to come storming out the gates and have a fresh new interview. And Mark Madison is chock full of fresh new interviews. And Mark's, you want to tell us about who we got on the show next week?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It is, I'm not sure how to describe him, whether or not he's like the CEO or the COO or the sole proprietor, but his name is James Key. He's responsible for Smash Wrestling. If anybody in the Toronto, Ontario area is familiar, or even if you've actually familiar with James, he had this one tweet that was made out to him by the Young Bucks saying, and they had called Smash the pro wrestling gorilla of Canada, which is really quite the compliment when you consider it. And they have a lot of homegrown talent. A lot of names that are in the WWE have either gone through or are ones that are being rumored to have been signed, whether it's Johnny Gargano or Biff Busick, or these are the names of those that have come through. They've brought in talent. There's going to be an event coming up for Smash on November 7th that I'm going to be attending with some friends itself. They're going to have one half of the American Wolves. Davey Richards will be at the show, and 2 of the Lucha Underground premier talents in Pentagon Jr. and Drago will be competing as well, along with a lot of homegrown talent that have been there regularly. And who knows, hopefully we can bring on some of the Smash indie stars that have been competing and have moved around and had those opportunities to compete with other talent on as well. But James will get that opportunity really to talk about and build up the promotion and really how it's a small indie fed that's really feeding in and bringing in stars. And, we're really, as far as they're concerned and the community is concerned, really trying to develop awareness of this group too. And you can tweet out Smash Wrestling. It'd be at Smash Wrestling. And they have a website as well. As if you check out their Twitter feed, the website is actually linked onto that. They just had an event coming up. And sorry, I apologize for kind of running off a tangent, but James is who we'd have on. He'll be able to give you all more information than I probably could. So that's what we're looking forward to as far as week 1 is concerned.
Awesome stuff, man. And like I said, I'm excited for this. And the thing, a lot of people told me, and Wayne was one of them, we need to get indie guys. And that was one thing Al and I kind of skirted around a little bit. We were a little nervous of bringing on indie guys. And it wasn't anything really to do with the indie guys. It was just more, I don't know if it was, afraid of having a bad interview or something like that. But, that's just something that's going to add, a different flavor, a different flair to this version of Main Event Madness, which, like I said, will hopefully get to heights never seen yet before by us here. So, looking forward to that. And you said you're going on that show's November 7th, correct?
Yeah, so it's going to be Saturday, November 7th. It's in the Etobicoke, I guess it'd be Etobicoke, Ontario. I'm not sure how any of the Ontario residents are listening. I guess it'd be Mississauga, Etobicoke, by the Lakeshore in Toronto. Go Blue Jays. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we had hoped. So I had to throw that in there.
Listen, all right, you know what? I'm gonna get this out of the way. I gotta plug 2CW and Northeast Wrestling here in a second, but I gotta get this out of the way. No, it's nothing towards you. It's nothing towards you. You know what? You guys beat us for the division. You guys got hot, and you guys stayed hot until the LCS. But even then, you could really argue. I mean, everybody except with the last name of Bautista was still playing good.
Yeah.
So you could talk smack. You beat us for the division. So I had a guy come in. Yes, the Jets lost to the Patriots. Don't get me started on that one. But I had a guy come in my work the other day and was talking smack about the Jets and the Patriots, and I just kept telling him that the Jets would have a better chance, or the Jets would beat the Patriots if the Patriots didn't keep deflating sets of balls. And the guy got a little mad. He's like, "Well, how'd your Yankees do in the wild card game?" Mind you, this guy's a Red Sox fan. And I just looked at him like, I don't know. How'd your Red Sox do in last place? Guy just glared at me, like mumbled some curse words, and stormed out the door. So,
yeah.
I mean, at least you have a foundation and a basis and a point to your argument. That guy's just being a dirtbag. So, which hopefully he's not listening to the show. If he is, I'm not naming his name, mostly because I don't know his name. And secondly, well, you're still a douchebag. So, I mean, dirtbag. I don't know if I could say douchebag. Well, then again, I'm already, I haven't dropped an F-bomb yet, so that's progress. But,
well, listen, the Yankees have, 30 championships or 20-something championships. I'm not sure, but the whole idea is you guys have a legacy. So, the fact that even in a wild card and not making it past that, the fact that you're still making the playoffs, really, I know there's a level of expectation, but the fact that you're still competing. And as long as you play a good product and it's competing, no one's going to really, I guess depending on where you're coming from, we just want a competitive team. I don't know if we'll have David Price next year, but one can only hope.
We might.
Yeah, you might. Well,
Before we break away from the back to the wrestling talk, I saw the Yankees were rumored for Zach Greinke. That scares me.
Ooh.
Yes, very. I know. Wayne, I'll try during the commercial break if we take one before we get to that. So, you know what? Here's what I said we're going to do, guys. We're going to regroup here. We're going to take a commercial break, since I just mentioned one. And we're going to come back, and I have no idea how old these commercials are, guys. So bear with me on that one. That kind of harkens back to my kind of slacking around a little bit. But nonetheless, we're live on wrestling-news.net, I think. But we're live also at Spreaker.com/show/Main Event Madness. Hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag MEMHIAC. Hit me up on Twitter at John Radio, and Mark is at the Mark Madison. We're going to take a commercial break here, guys. Hell in a Cell goes on the air in just over 3 hours from now. What's going to happen? We're going to give you our opinions coming up here in a few minutes. Also, some news about who could be and who won't be in Los Angeles for WWE Hell in a Cell. So, a lot of fun still to come here, guys. It's a different flavor. It's a new beginning. It's a new start for Main Event Madness, and we want you along for the ride. So, stick around with us. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Want wrestling news? Want sports news? Want columns, podcasts, shopping, and a place to chat with fans around the world? Then you want MainEventMadness.com. This site has everything from the latest news about all your favorite wrestling companies, including WWE, TNA, ROH, and Global Force Wrestling, as well as news about all the major sports leagues, MLB, NFL, and NBA. Give us a try, and you won't regret it. It's MainEventMadness.com, where the madness runs wild.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Looking for quality wrestling news with an international flair? Looking for results and news from around the world? Look no further than Wrestling-News.net. Wayne Daly and his crew have you covered from top to bottom, from WWE to TNA to the top independent companies from around the world. Check them out, Wrestling-News.net.
So you decided to check out Main Event Madness, and now you want to know how you can get the latest news about the show, the hosts, guests, showtimes, and more? Well, the answer's simple. Facebook. Head over to facebook.com/maineventmadness and be a part of the hundreds who have already liked the page and are the first to know everything you could ask about Main Event Madness. Facebook.com/maineventmadness, the official Facebook page for Main Event Madness Radio.
Want to write a column, report news, a blog, or simply help out with the website? No problem. We're looking for reporters for sports, wrestling, and columnists. If interested, send an email and a resume to job@maineventmadness.com and join our team today. Main Event Madness is an equal opportunity employer. Please only send serious inquiries. The spam will not be read. From the associate producer of The Wrestler, and in the tradition of Joe Franklin and Ed Sullivan variety talk shows, Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV features an eclectic mix of legendary million-selling musicians, indie artists deserving greater exposure, and colorful pro wrestlers. Co-hosted by Steve Ludwig of Classic Pop Culture Radio, the show airs live every Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern at MadhouseTV.com and LegendsTVNYC.com. Martha Wash, Crown Heights Affair, Lanny Poffo, Nicole Bass, and other legends have joined us. You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV.
Alright, guys, we are back. Main Event Madness is back. We are live. I said we're back, and it's going to be like another week and a half before we're back, actually. But nonetheless, guys, we are back. Main Event Madness Radio pre-game show for WWE Hell in a Cell, taking place from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, in about 3 hours from now. A lot to get into. A Chuck-filled card that it was shuffled around a little bit. And there's a couple tidbits of news I want to get into. Where do you guys want to start on this card?
I think you should start with the pre-show and then just walk on to the main show.
Sounds good for me, guys. We got Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Neville teaming up against Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett. It literally looks like the creative team took whatever mid-card guys not named Dean Ambrose that weren't on the pay-per-view, put them all in a blender and puked them out on the pay-per-view card, because that is a gaudy-looking six-man tag match. That's really all I have to say about that. Mark, how are you feeling about this match?
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Guys, this is Perks of Live Radio. Mr. Mark.
Hey, Johnny.
Alrighty, just saw your message about that. Yep, you're here.
Okay. Okay.
Are we alive? We good? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey. Yep. We good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I just read Wayne's message. All right, so we're gonna kick off with the pregame match. Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, and Neville versus Rusev, Sheamus, and King Barrett. I said it literally looks like the creative team took what mid-card guys weren't on the pay-per-view, threw them in a blender, and puked them up onto the pay-per-view. And that it's a gaudy-looking six-man tag match, and that's all I really had to say.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, they pretty much just did that. You have all this, you don't know what to do. Let's just do that. I mean, traditional booking says, let's see, if the heels are going to come out with the win maybe on a SmackDown, face is going over in this one, pretty much. Nothing more coming from it, really.
Yeah, Wayne, how are you feeling looking at this match?
Sleeper.
Pretty much, which is kind of the counteractive of what the pre-show match is there for, isn't the? I mean, I've always thought the pre-show match is there to kind of get the crowd fired up before the show starts, not make them dead as you're going on the air.
To be honest, it actually could fire up the crowd, but on paper, it's just something like a sleeper of a match.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, go ahead.
There's a lot of talent in the ring, and it's just really odd that you have the Money in the Bank winner in there, and you've got former Intercontinental champions in there, and yet you got a former U.S. champion in there, and all these former champions, guys that really have achieved, are just kind of meant to be thrown in there, and the continuous bad booking of King Barrett continues on a pre-show, and this guy it's mind-boggling. I don't know why they continue to do this with him, but it seems unfair. It's another pre-show. Mm-hmm. Why? For what?
And you mentioned the King of the Ring. This is something I literally just thought of, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. So they brought back King of the Ring like 6 months ago. It was, for us, I wouldn't say, I don't know if you'd say we're hardcore fans, but for us fans that know King of the Ring, it was awesome, and it was a nice surprise. We didn't think we'd see it back, let alone that quick. Wouldn't it have made more sense? You just lost Daniel Bryan, and you want to add prestige to the IC title. Wouldn't it have made more sense to be like, well, we're going to do this King of the Ring tournament, and the winner gets a shot at the Intercontinental Championship or the United States Championship? Kind of like what they used to do a few years back where the winner got a World Championship match.
It definitely adds value to it, but that just doesn't seem like that was the decision that they wanted to go with. Win the King of the Ring title, or win the King of the Ring, do it on the WWE Network that someone may not be subscribed to. That in itself, the way that all came about, that's awful. Then when you think of how they had a whole pay-per-view dedicated to King of the Ring, to it's going to work down to maybe 4 matches, maybe 2, and then we're going to have a network exclusive. Well, where's the hype towards it? Where's the build towards it? Where's the value towards it? It's no surprise that it's ended up the way it is, because they haven't given any value to being a king.
Especially when you're treated the way Barrett is. Like, logically, what superstar would be like, yeah, I want to go be King of the Ring, and then be buried for 6 months?
Yeah.
I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then, I'm just looking at these, so Dolph Ziggler and Rusev are seemingly feuding. Now, Rusev won the feud. Like, if you look at it realistically, Rusev's with Lana. They're getting married. Rusev won that feud, so they literally have no reason to fight each other anymore. Neville and Barrett have been fighting for like the last 87 years. At least it feels like.
Yeah.
And when did Cesaro and Sheamus start anything? Is that something from SmackDown? Because I don't watch SmackDown.
I think that's what they're really trying to push towards. I mean, it's a good thing for Cesaro to be pushed into another program. He's just come off the Kevin Owens one. So the idea of working with Sheamus, who is pretty successful, he's achieved a lot, and now the fact that he's got the King of the Ring title, that King of the Ring briefcase, I don't know why I keep calling it a title, but he wears it like it's a belt.
He should defend it like it's a belt.
Yeah, he really should. Maybe just suspend it from his waist. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he tries to cash it in tonight. I don't know if many people talk about that. But yeah, that's not a bad thing for Cesaro. Maybe that's something that they can continue to work with. But we need to talk about Rusev going over in that feud with Dolph. I wonder, just because of the, like, it almost felt like public shaming from Summer Rae towards Rusev on Monday Night Raw like a couple weeks back, because it just, like, the story broke. You know, they're really together. This isn't make-believe. They broke the story, so we're not going to hide it anymore. Let's just blow this whole thing up. And I never liked the way the feud went, and it just made Rusev look weak. He was this big monster bruiser of a guy, and now he's losing 3-minute matches to Ryback and just made to look embarrassed by Summer Rae. That was just my perspective on it too. It just, it didn't seem fair.
It doesn't seem, nothing about this entire thing seemed fair, because I remember back in the late spring and early summer there were talks. Vince was legitimately trying to break Lana and Rusev up, because Vince and Kevin Dunn didn't like a guy that looks like Rusev being with someone that looks like Lana. And Wayne, I know you remember that.
Yeah, I think it was back in like March, just before WrestleMania 31.
Was it that far back? But I knew that they wanted to break him up, and when they started doing the storyline with Ziggler and Lana, I'm like, okay, maybe they're actually going with this. So I kind of laughed at it, because it was literally like a giant middle finger to McMahon trying to do that, where Rusev had his engagement filmed and all that, and TMZ, and I don't know, this storyline just became something slightly entertaining to something atrocious that I don't even know if abomination is a strong enough word for this.
Well, when Lana had hurt her hand, or she broke her hand, I think was what was reported. No, so she's actually out of action during this whole period. They never seemed like she was upset at Dolph, goes off, not really sure why she's upset at Dolph, because if you're watching, you see Summer Rae walk in, and it's really weirdly filmed. Remember that episode of Monday Night Raw where she walks in on him in the shower or whatever? But anyway, and the fact that she's upset at him for something that somebody else did, and there's no resolution. I don't know, and if that was my wife, and she needed to get upset at me, we would talk it through, there'd be some sort of conclusion. But then an awkward proposal by Summer Rae, and then she wasn't really on it. I don't know. It was just bad soap opera.
Exactly, and like the only thing that seemed even slightly makes sense is the fact that, like you said, the last time we saw Lana she was all heartbroken from Dolph, and this, that, and the third with that, and whatever happened with that. So, I mean, from Lana's perspective...
they could have filmed vignettes at her home and, recovering and feeling heartbroken.
Well, actually, from Lana's perspective, I think it makes sense. Because it's kind of, the devil I didn't know, I think just stabbed me in the back, so I'll go back to the devil I do know. You with us?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe international calling isn't going, or something across the border isn't going well for me today. The line keeps dropping on me. So
I'm starting to think it's me.
I'm not
'Cause
sure
we
it was the
literally
last
had.
thing that made sense. That I
Huh?
oh
Could be me, because we're not relatively that far from each other. Certainly closer than me and Al were, and still issues. So might be on my end. But I was just saying, I think the only thing that makes sense is coming.
John, this is actually working. This is actually working better than the Rusev Lana feud.
This is true. I mean, you're not wrong.
Because you're saying it's not you, it's me. I mean, I would have just been content if somebody used that line during that feud, but it never seemed like that.
I don't
It's gonna come out.
I think One Life to Live might have been.
Funny of this.
I think One Life to Live might have been more entertaining than this feud, and that, yeah, the fact that I was able to mention a soap opera in 2015, yeah. We'll just move on from that. Let's see. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line. Kevin Owens versus Ryback. Does anybody, oh, I'm saying anybody like there's a bunch of us. Do either of you even think that there's a slight, minuscule chance that Ryback beats Owens?
I don't see it. I don't think a lot of people do. If you just watch the way it's unfolding, I mean, keeping Ryback competitive and keeping him relevant and keeping him in this feud makes sense, right? He's achieved a lot. He's connected with fans, and people love that. But I can't see him winning. Owens is just he's golden boy right now, so it looks. At least my perspective, he's looking like it's going to be a Kevin Owens win tonight.
It's a win in my book. Wayne, what are your opinions on this Intercontinental Championship match? Is the short-lived Ryback Owens feud over with after tonight, sir?
I really hope so, because I think if Ryback wins, it ruins Kevin Owens' credibility. I mean, that if Ryback wins, that means Kevin Owens' title reign just meant nothing. Absolutely nothing for fans.
Well, I mean, it would destroy him more than losing to John Cena twice in a row. But yeah, I don't see a realm of possibility that Ryback walks out as the Intercontinental Champion, and I do not think people want to see that. It was a very failed experiment. And speaking of failed experiments, Charlotte versus Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. The fact that Paige isn't in this storyline makes literally no sense to me.
I wonder though, like she's not in. Do I think she doesn't get involved? Or I don't think she, in some way, directly causes Charlotte to lose it. So something is fishy about all this. Who's to know? This one is a little harder for me to tell because I don't know what direction they want to go with when it comes to Nikki. She carried the title for so long. Yeah, Charlotte has it, but I don't think the idea of losing the belt after winning it 2 weeks earlier, a streak or a title reign, broke a streak from AJ Lee makes sense necessarily either, because you're just kind of hot-shotting the title, like what a division. Just pass the title around like it's a hot potato doesn't seem to make sense. So who's to not say Paige gets involved? Maybe she doesn't necessarily cost Charlotte. Maybe she attempts to cost Charlotte. Maybe Natalya comes out. This could be a whole cluster, I won't use the rest of that term, of women just getting involved, which could be just bad in itself, just because it just doesn't seem organized. But maybe I'd like to think Charlotte retains because it seems to make sense. But I'm still scratching my head even as I give you that answer. Ask me that question in about 45 minutes, it might be different.
Yeah, even it kind of goes hand in hand with the Ryback Owens match. That if Charlotte loses to Nikki Bella right again, what was the point?
Yeah. Like, why not just have the title reign continue on up until Hell in a Cell? Why lose it at Night of Champions? Mm-hmm. Is it like I don't know? It makes no sense.
All right, so after strong,
I was going to actually bring up as well.
Go ahead, Wayne. Wayne?
I just have to say this. Wayne?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You
Okay.
literally stopped talking out of nowhere.
It's so thick, like your voice is so thick that it's sometimes hard, and like maybe we miss something. So I'm hanging on it.
So what was your point that you were going to make, sir?
I was saying that was something I was actually going to bring up as well. Like, what's the point if Charlotte loses it?
I just said that. Were you even listening?
Yes, I was. I said that's why I just said I was going to bring that up as well.
Oh, okay. It was like you sounded like you had a whole nother point, and then you just cut out, and we're waiting. Like, oh, he has a different angle on this. Okay, let's. And then nothing. Then nothing. Oh, I'm here. Okay, go on. What? I don't know. But Wayne's been asking for this one, so the next matchup is going to be
John Cena U.S. Open Challenge officially starts now. You want some? Come get some!
Was that what you wanted me to play, Wayne?
That is exactly what I wanted you to play. And in my opinion, the person that's going to challenge John Cena tonight, damas y caballeros, gran honor presentarles de la excelencia. Él es Alberto Del Rio.
The fact that he actually had Ricardo's entrance down right. I'm impressed. I'd love to see it too. What do you think, Mark? What in the hell? What the hell's going on in this place? Mark, are you with us? This is like Groundhog Day to the 100th power.
Wow.
Are you here?
Mm-hmm. John? I can hear you okay. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, you weren't talking. That's why I was like, oh, man.
John? Okay, so I never saw the Alberto Del Rio prediction coming. I guess the idea of him not returning to Lucha Underground probably makes sense if he's going to show up there. But so many rumors are flying. Like, I've heard everything from it being Tyler Breeze coming out and challenging to Daniel Bryan to Dolph Ziggler, just showing up again and trying to build off of a total Divas potential feud. But who comes up the challenge? I don't know. I see that coming too. You hear me okay?
Yeah, you were just cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. What made sense? What was coherent that I said?
The only part we were really able to hear was that the Alberto Del Rio part caught you off guard, and you've heard everybody from Tyler Breeze to Daniel Bryan.
So my prediction, I guess, Tyler Breeze, he debuted up on SmackDown this past week. Definitely made an impact attacking Dolph Ziggler. Really brought closure to that Rusev-Lana Summer Rae feud. Tyler Breeze might be the prediction. Definitely would make an impact to come out and do that. But yeah,
It makes sense too because you get a ready-made feud with John Cena leaving now that Breeze came up and attacked Ziggler, and you got that little squabble going.
yeah.
The reason I'm picking Alberto Del Rio is the reported rumors that Cena is meant to be taking time off after tonight. Which means, like, if you put Alberto Del Rio there, you could actually have him lock in the cross arm breaker. Let's say the Cena's over like 6 to 8 weeks. That keeps him off television for
So they work in the idea of an injury rumor or an injury angle to work him off.
Yeah, put in an injury angle. Somebody has to take Cena off TV tonight.
Yeah.
Are you completely selling the idea that Daniel Bryan does come back tonight?
I don't believe it. Let's be brutally honest.
I got my hopes up. I'm going to be having my Deep Eye shirt on during the pay-per-view, so...
I mean, if it's Daniel Bryan has to come back as a heel to take out Cena.
Who says he's the one who takes out Cena?
Where would you hear the latest rumor from?
Daniel Bryan could just... What's that?
Maybe it's a masked man, and then we find out that in 6 weeks, this is who the person was, and they're who was the person that took out John Cena? They lead into something like that.
Well, I mean, they haven't done a whodunit story since Vince killed himself, so
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and there's Cena and Bryan, and Cena could congratulate Daniel Bryan on being the first one to beat Cena in his U.S. Open Challenge, and then to your guys' point, Dolph Ziggler comes out and lays out Cena to go with that Total Divas, or maybe Tyler Breeze does it to make a name for himself, and then you maybe have a three-way feud going. Hold on.
Or what they could do is go back to what happened 10 years ago. Have Cena lose it to Carlito. Carlito meets up with Jesus after so many years, and Cena gets
stabbed in another nightclub,
so to speak.
Are you with us, Mark?
Wait, is this Shawn Michaels scenario playing itself all over again?
Possibly, but
or something happens in a nightclub, and
yeah, that's what he was saying. But I was saying I didn't know what or how much you heard from my point. That even if Daniel Bryan comes back, Dolph Ziggler could lay out John Cena to go with that Total Divas storyline, or even Tyler Breeze to make a name for himself, and then you got a triple threat going in the U.S. title division, I guess you could say, between Bryan, Breeze, and Ziggler.
You could.
Plus Cesaro and Sheamus could be inserted in that also.
You've got a whole bunch of guys that make sense to try and elevate to, but if Cena is taken out, clearly he's not being clean. That's the case, right? Although it kind of taints, I feel kind of bad. Tyler Breeze has to win a title where it's not a clean finish, and that's kind of screwy.
Yeah, it opens up the window of possibility, and that's what's fun about tonight. Is it's not the same, carbon copy, set in stone. You know what's going to happen at WWE Night of Champions pay-per-view, where you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas at least there's a little bit of intrigue in tonight's show, and who's gonna challenge Cena, and if they challenge Cena, are they gonna be the one to take out John Cena? Is John Cena actually taking the time off? Is John Cena gonna get laid out? There's a bunch of different directions you can go with that. What we touched on before, is Paige gonna attack?
The interesting thing with Cena is if you go to WWE's website, he's actually not advertised for tomorrow's Raw, the Raw after that, and even the Raw after that.
Who isn't?
John Cena isn't.
John Cena's not.
But let me ask you also, does Daniel Bryan come back anyway just to bolster the ratings without John Cena and without Randy Orton?
They need a pick-me-up. Those are notable, dependable guys that have invented, right? So
yeah. And speaking of pick-me-ups, there's another guy we haven't even touched on, Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
He lost his match on the night. I don't see why they couldn't go with a one-on-one Ambrose versus either Eric Rowan or Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I don't know why that seemed to have gotten dropped, because initially I thought it was the match was announced of being Orton and Ambrose against Strowman and Harper, but then Orton gets hurt, so the whole match gets scrapped? Why not? Well, maybe they should have just kept it as a handicap or something to the effect of where Dean has a partner of his choosing.
Mm-hmm. Then it's... do we have to send out an Amber Alert for Luke Harper?
Hasn't shown up since?
That... Huh?
He's there tonight.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positively sure he arrived with the rest of the guys over the weekend.
I hope he's with them. I hope they don't just keep him backstage because WWE has a fascination with factions only having 3 guys. New Day, the Dudleys, Legacy, Evolution for a bulk of it. They have a fascination with 3 guys. Why you can't just have 4 guys? Because the Wyatt family together, especially if you start to elevate Bray Wyatt up to the main event, how intimidating would Bray Wyatt be? It'd harken back to The Undertaker with the Ministry, where you have Bray Wyatt coming out with 3 massive guys in his corner. Like, that, I don't care who you are, even if you're The Undertaker, that's still, it's intimidating, and it's something that adds an effect that Bray Wyatt doesn't have. And, we could talk about that match now, and I saw something on Facebook earlier, and I couldn't agree with it more, in that it's put up or shut up time for both Wyatt and, especially Wyatt, but Wyatt and Reigns.
Yeah.
That, you guys, Wyatt's been on the roster for 2 years, Reigns has been on the roster for 3 years. You want to get into that main event, bust your ass tonight, and put on the match of your careers tonight. Do what Rock and Austin did for each other back in 98 and 97. The IC title feud. I apologize if I got my years wrong on that. But that IC title feud where they elevated each other. They threw each other into the main event. Aside from the...
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what Wyatt and Reigns need to do.
Maybe this is just that. Maybe this is this prelude that both of them they're holding the hope that these two push each other to a point where when it comes to the main event, it's not a matter of whoever wins this match, because yes, there'll be a winner and there'll be a loser, but the whole idea is that maybe it's up to the commentary, and maybe it's, what's the reaction of the crowd? Is everybody left knowing, these guys put it all out there? And
if it's left up to the commentary, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Especially with Jerry Lawler on it tonight.
Yeah, well, true. But at the same time, like, if fans are connecting with them and there's something there that makes them say, you know what, Bray Wyatt lost, but there's a whole another level of respect for him because he went down swinging. And same with Roman Reigns. I think that's what they really tried with Roman Reigns, showing this kind of this weakened warrior that, he gets knocked down, but he tries to pick himself up. I'm not sure if everybody's always buying that, but it's got to be something. It's got to be, maybe this is the match that everyone says, that was the title match, but this match stood out. Maybe this is the sleeper match, just because of how much this is going on. I tend to wonder if this is going to be the end. Maybe there's something leading up to a Survivor Series or something. I wonder.
I hope it's something that goes to Survivor Series, because, you're doing this gang warfare storyline, and you have Survivor Series, which is based around gang warfare. Why wouldn't you keep that going for one more month?
Well, they can bring in family. Like, the Usos have not been seen.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one's been injured.
But I think he's back
now. The whole idea of having family versus family to end it. Have that Hatfields versus the McCoys, and somebody gets wiped out, right? But then, if that's the fact, did Roman need everybody else's help to succeed? So it's a no-win. Why need everybody else to succeed, or can he do it on his own? So,
if they could get somebody to go with the Wyatt family, I think a fun storyline would be, keep the Ambrose Reigns thing, or Ambrose and Reigns, sorry, brain fart. Keep them together, like the family thing. So they bring in the Usos, one Uso wasn't good enough, so we have both of them. And then the Wyatts get another ally, I don't know who you'd throw with them.
Maybe they have the 4 that they have, right? Maybe it's a 4-on-4, and you have Harper and Rowan together with Strowman, and they're all together, right?
Yeah, they could go that way, or, in fantasy booking land, the Wyatt's get a 5th guy. It's 4 versus 5 all of a sudden. If you smell.
Yeah, and The Rock comes out.
And there were talks that he was going to wrestle later in the year.
Yeah.
So, and that'd be an easy way for him to be in the ring, but not have to do the workload of a Rock Cena match.
Right.
So I definitely think time will tell. Wayne, was there anything you wanted to add to that?
The only thing I don't like about the match, and I agree with Jim Ross on this, why is it inside the Hell in a Cell?
Why not?
Like, as Jim Ross said, it actually takes away the mystique of The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar with their match inside the cell.
But, I mean, is it not a feud, given how many times the Wyatts have interfered and all the shenanigans that have gone on with it? Is it not a feud that doesn't warrant having the Hell in a Cell?
Maybe not on the same night, I think, is the idea. Because I'm sure there's been events or there's been Hell in a Cell type matches, maybe happening on different events because that's the way to do it. But I can see where Wayne and I guess Jim Ross is coming from when they say that the timing of it may not make the most sense. Because if the Wyatts want to get involved, they'll find a way. Under the ring, through the top, ripping cage doors down. I mean, if you remember anything from the Inferno match with against Kane a couple years ago, they put a ring of fire, managed to douse the fire, and still get in the ring and still get involved. So,
true. I mean,
I would actually prefer something like let's say Falls Count Anywhere, and if the Wyatts got involved, then they're all they're all suspended from WWE or something like that for like 30 to 60 days.
yeah.
Something just add kind of like that to the feud.
just something. I don't know. This is why having gimmick pay-per-views is a atrociously bad idea.
You can say what we say. It's a pain in the ass.
I was trying to be nice, Wayne. I haven't really sworn much. Shit. Well, there goes that one. Hey, Wayne, I've still gone about an hour, and I still haven't dropped an F-bomb, so at least give me some credit here. Have I?
I haven't heard it.
I'm tempted to before we go off the air, but I'm going to try to behave. This will end like a streak of like 60 straight weeks of me dropping an F-bomb. At least one.
What do we have next?
Because I know you got to bounce here, so let's try to get through the last two quickly here. New Day versus the Dudleys. I mean, I'm looking at this textbook WWE booking. New Day loses the belts.
Yeah, they're so over that they can lose the belts, and it really doesn't seem like it matters.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt them. They're just...
The Dudleys would only have it for like a month anyway.
These guys are so money. Like, they can do no wrong. They're funny. It's fresh. They just add to their...
They're like the Nation and DX put together.
Yeah, it's just... I think they've gotten creative freedom to just be everything they want to kind of be.
I loved him last week, and it's like, we're going to get in there, we're going to beat you. Whoa, Kofi. What? PG show. It's PG show. Oh. Well, hell, we're the New Day. Ass! Oh my god, he swore.
Yeah. I do agree. I mean, Dudley's win just to kind of say that they've got the title for the 10th time. I was worried about them winning, but the fact that they're known, they've achieved, it's not a bad thing that they win. I have reservations about them coming in and just, like, primetime players are just swiped to the side. And anything else...
Fittingly so, too. Like, the primetime players, they tried to capitalize on some momentum they had 2 years ago. And it just fell flat on their face.
They did.
It sucks for them, too, because they were good. Yeah. But, I mean, the New Day is just, let's say grab the brass ring. No, they're choking out the brass ring.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're just having a blast with it. Did you ever see their table for three?
Yeah, I did.
That was hilarious. I wish it was probably like 3 times longer than it was. But, moving on here quick, because like I said, I do know you have to go, and I apologize for rambling a little bit there.
Did Wayne want to put in his insight on that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wayne.
I'll just say Dudley's will win. That's it. I
mean, it's just the Dudleys got screwed out of the tag titles after debuting. You know, it's typical WWE booking. If they don't beat the New Day, I'll be surprised. But if they don't, that'll probably mean they'll get the belts tomorrow night, which will be get the WWE Network for literally no reason, because it's nothing more than a hook to make you watch Raw, especially now that our ratings are in the gutter. And that's where I'm going with these two matches. Seth Rollins versus Kane for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And if Kane loses, Abyss is fired. If Abyss loses, Joseph Parks is fired. So, Wayne, what do you feel about Seth Rollins versus Abyss tonight? And yes, people, I know it's Kane.
And Sheamus is going to cash in the title on Kane. Sheamus is going to cash in Money in the Bank on Kane.
You know, that wouldn't be the first. That's not the first time I've heard somebody throw that idea out there, because nobody would think one-on-one Kane that Kane would win the title. It's like Kane, right? His face turns and heel turns are like a revolving door. So what credibility does he have if, and he gets beaten down. Just for differentiation, I'll just say maybe Seth Rollins does hold on, but I can still see Sheamus trying to cash in on a wounded Seth Rollins. So now I just go the opposite direction, but the whole idea of Sheamus still cashing in. Different winner prior to that, though.
I don't want to see Sheamus anywhere near the main event, as you heard by my fake puking noise.
I don't think if Sheamus does hold the title, I think it's going to be off him by the time the Royal Rumble comes around.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't even want to see him have the belt at Survivor Series. Oh, God. The ratings are already hit historical lows. I don't want to think about how bad they'll be getting into the crunch time of the NFL season. And who's your world champion? Sheamus. Tip, NFL.
Yeah.
And I'm a diehard wrestling fan, and I'd say that, because nothing about Sheamus right now as world champion makes me want to tune in. I've said this to Matt, which Mark, that's our one of our co-hosts for Work in Progress. I've said to Matt off air, Wayne, one of the best things, and I'm pretty sure I've said this to you too, one of the best things WWE could do right now is put the belt on Dean Ambrose. It's what they did in 97, 98. They pushed Austin. Why? Because that's who the fans liked. What happened? The Attitude Era. I'm not saying that something to that effect would happen, or to that great effect, or to that length would happen, but I'd like to think, because Ambrose, I think, is probably the crowd favorite. They don't like Reigns as much. They don't like Cena as much. But Cena's always going to be number one anyway. And Lesnar's getting booed out of the building right now because he's facing Undertaker.
What do you got left? Came into the company. Huh? Ambrose's money waiting to happen.
Exactly. So, I get, wait and have a WrestleMania moment like Austin, but I just... Ambrose as WWE champion would be so much better right now. Let me ask you guys, even looking at it on paper, what sounds more appealing? WWE World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose.
And you're drawing in some indie guys too, because there's still those indie holdouts that, for whatever reason, won't watch Dean Ambrose in WWE. They'll be like, oh my God, Jon Moxley's the WWE champion. We need to watch Raw, guys.
Yeah.
Do you see like those Facebook groups? Because I hate them when they'll be like, yeah, they got Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black, and Leah Key, and Jon Moxley in the ring. Like, that's like calling a teacher by their first name.
Yeah.
It's just, that's their names they're going by. You're not calling, it's not like calling Steve Austin, well, I'm going to call him Steve Williams because that's his real name. No. Or the ringmaster. Just call them their names. And most of them are more popular and more successful by their WWE names anyway, especially Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but who's more successful, Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan?
I'm going to stay over the comment on that one.
Which one main evented
major wrestling event like WrestleMania in front of 80,000 people, and which one was wrestling in high school gyms?
Brian Danielson, Dunbar.
I hate you.
When push comes to shove.
I hate you.
Because it's just John Cena. Brian Danielson was Brian Danielson.
Yes, I know, and that's how people should look at it. You know, it's still the same guy, just different names, but the people that are smartasses that go out of their way to say their old indie names. Like, if you're going to call him, if you don't want to call him Seth Rollins, oh, that's Tyler Black. No, it's Colby Lopez, dude. If you're going to not call him his ring name, you might as well call him his real name. Like, I don't know, I never understand that. Reign. Huh?
I mean, I like Seth Rollins' reign. I like the fact that he's been that slimy, squirmy...
That we haven't had since Edge.
But then, pardon?
We haven't had a champion like that since Edge.
No, that's such a... Yeah.
And everybody's hating on him. There's so much hate on Rollins. A, dumbasses. I'm not talking about you two. A, dumbasses. You don't like him because he's a heel and he's doing his job. B, oh, well, he's a dirtbag like Edge. Okay. Edge, does Edge suck? No, oh my God, Edge is one of the best ever. All right, then shut up.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's going for. He's a hybrid of Edge and Triple H.
Yeah.
And it's in the best ways, too. So, I don't know. I had a rant and rave and, you know, bitch.
I was always wondering, I mean, this is off topic a little bit, but I was always hoping that his matches with John Cena would have been better, just because you saw what John Cena and Kevin Owens could do, and those matches were so great, everyone's attention. I was always hoping for the same with him and Cena, and they just didn't seem to, there weren't the near falls, the kickouts, the, you know, variety of maneuvers. It felt like Seth was the guy carrying the match and doing the majority of the work. But you know, I had higher expectations based off of what Cena was able to do with Owens.
With Owens or with Rollins?
Yeah. No, what he was able to do with Owens.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I was so impressed with that I thought, okay, this is what. So.
I don't know. The biggest thing that hindered, you know, Cena and Rollins was they were always overshadowed by some withstanding storyline. When the 2 or 3 times they had singles matches, whether it was Cena versus the Authority, or Jon Stewart versus Seth Rollins, or Sting versus Seth Rollins, there was always something overshadowing it that made John Cena versus Seth Rollins look like an afterthought.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting, to say the least. And so, really quick, Mark, before you go, I know you got to leave. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Who wins? Besides the fans.
Undertaker versus Brock?
Yes.
I think you lost the movie.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Mark, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was it was all like staticky, breaking up again. Couldn't hear you. Oh. Yeah, no. Hopefully in the next week and a half, folks, we'll get this figured out. Then again, it's Main Event Madness, so probably not.
Anyways, before he comes back on, John, I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that the Undertaker was going to win, but he's going to win with some help.
Are you here?
I'm there. I'm here. Sorry. Undertaker Brock?
Yep.
Yep. I'm going to say Undertaker. Too much invested in the time and already said something. I think it's enough of the screwy finishes, enough of the doubt. Both are going to not be seen for a while anyway, so I'm going to go with Undertaker.
So it's just
Just for the fact that the closure brings it, he finally gets retribution. Because it was dealt left after the last time between the both of them in SummerSlam, and you question it. I don't know how it's going to end, but I can't see Undertaker not winning. Maybe a Paul Heyman double cross. Who knows?
Well, Paulie Dangerously did manage Mean Mark Callis in WCW.
He did. And it wouldn't be the first time that he's double crossed Brock when he did it with Big Show. So
yeah, so time will tell for sure, and that would solidify Brock Lesnar as a babyface. But Mark, it was fun, man. You know, we'll be back next week, and I'm looking forward to having you on and going in the future, man.
okay, you too. All the best, guys. Enjoy tonight's show. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Take care.
Good.
All right, so guys, that was our co-host. Closing that like an interview. Don't really know why, but we are back next week, next Wednesday, November 4th, at 8 o'clock Eastern. We got a little bit longer. Wayne, you got a couple more minutes we can BS?
Yeah, good time.
So,
I don't know if you heard my prediction or not, did you?
yes, but I want to touch on his prediction a little bit. Undertaker winning. Does it almost make it like him beating the streak or Lesnar beating the streak was like a waste of time? If Undertaker's just going to get the upper hand? Or is it retribution for that and retribution for all the matches that Brock beat Undertaker back years ago?
That's why I don't see Taker winning clean. That's what I said. Somebody's going to cost Lesnar the match.
You think it's Rock?
It could be The Rock, it could be Stone Cold, it could be anyone.
You really think it could be Stone Cold?
As I said, it could be anyone. I mean, if they want, like, Vince McMahon is smart, and he wouldn't put this match on a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view unless there was something happening.
True.
I mean, you don't blow off a feud like this at a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
You do something to either lead into Survivor Series or WrestleMania or something, or even the Rumble. But, I don't know. I hope there's something, and I hope this match is... I hope if we're going to get some bullshit finish where they want to hook going into Monday Night Raw, I hope it's the WWE Championship match. I do not hope there's some kind of bullshit match ending to... Like, if it's something like we just talked about with Undertaker and Brock, that's one thing. But if it's just some kind of bullshit, like we've been having from WWE lately, ending Undertaker and Lesnar, I'll be pissed.
Like, for all we know, like, Lesnar and The Undertaker could be down on the match in the Hell in a Cell match. The lights might go off, the lights might come back up, and there's Stone Cold standing in the ring. Brock Lesnar gets back to his feet, looks and kind of goes, what the hell? Stunner. The Undertaker goes over, 1, 2, 3, the match is done. That way you have the feud set up straight away.
You know what would be some shit? That happens, Undertaker does his pose, lights go out, lights come back on. Oh, hi Finn Balor.
That's insane, there's any possibility. Like,
and that's something that Matt really got me liking the idea of, is Undertaker versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania.
Like that's the possibility. If the Undertaker goes over cleanly, then it kind of, to me, there's nothing left in the feud.
It's anticlimactic.
Exactly, that's the word I was trying to get out.
It's like the good guy. You want the good guy to win, and you want the best ending. Okay, well, is the Undertaker really the good guy here?
Like, as I was saying, if the Undertaker goes over, somebody's going to help him. Whereas if Brock goes over, it's going to be a bit anticlimactic, and which is why I kind of actually prefer if someone either way, like if someone helped Brock to win, if someone helped the Undertaker to win. I just do think if somebody helps the Undertaker to win, it's going to set up Brock's next feud at WrestleMania.
Hopefully it's something.
Considering where they are as well, it's not out of the realm of possibility for The Rock.
Time will definitely tell for that.
Here's something I'm going to actually ask you as well, John. Do you think that's going to be the match that goes on last?
I hope so. I hope to God Rollins and Kane don't close. And if it's Cena, it's going to be somebody big.
I don't see Cena closing, obviously. I think Cena will probably be like first hour.
I wonder if Cena opens.
No,
Just to get him out of the way, be like, all right, go on your fucking time off. There we go. You got the F-bomb out of the way.
Personally, I think the tag titles are actually going to open the show. It's either going to be tag titles or it's going to be Owens versus Ryback.
There's a lot of intangibles for this, so it should be interesting for sure. Is it going to be Alberto Del Rio? Is it going to be Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose? Hell, it could be Batista. You never know.
One name that's floating around at the moment is Samoa Joe as well.
Samoa Joe, yeah, he's not too far from LA. Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Breeze. There's so many different ways that go. The hell, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio's been linked with WWE a little bit. Carlito, MVP. Are the Hardys done in TNA?
They're not up till February.
They're up till February. Okay.
An interesting thing that somebody just actually linked me to about 10 minutes ago. And I actually responded back to him to tell him that he's not out of contract in January. Kurt Angle is in Los Angeles and posted a picture of himself with Booker T.
Oh.
Obviously, it's not going to happen because Kurt is out of contract in January.
Unless he quit and kept it under wraps.
That's the only thing I could actually think, but I don't think that's going to be... Like, that would be out here right now if we knew it.
Or he quit and he kept it under wraps.
That's insane. That would be leaked out.
I don't know. I'm trying. I'm reaching. I'm trying. It's going to be exciting, though, man. I hope it's not one of those...
Look at the... I don't want to kind of bring it up in a sense, but look at the CM Punk situation.
True.
When that happened, that was out there as fast as it happened.
I just hope it's not one of those WWE things where we're left pissed off because it was nothing we wanted or nothing we thought we'd get, and they used all that anticipation and all that hype just to give us some bullshit finish. I.e. Night of Champions.
I was expecting
and SummerSlam.
Like John Cena versus like someone like The Big Show or Mark Henry or something like that. Whereas fans are going to be anticipating someone.
Oh my God! It's John Cena versus Zack Ryder. Or is it going to be Heath Slater? Is the one-man band finally going to get his U.S. title match? I'll wait for the collective people listening, all like 2 or 3 of them, to stop laughing. But, guys, that's going to do it. Hold on 1 second. That is going to do us...
Radio.
Huh? Yeah, Joys on Radio. Nothing like getting text messages that you had to answer right away, otherwise you're going to get screamed at. That is going to do it for us here tonight for the Hell in a Cell pregame show. We hope you guys enjoy the show. And we hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different flavor, a little bit different flair, you know. I'm hoping it's going to be it's going to be something you guys are going to enjoy. I think it will be. And this new website, I'm excited for it. And I'm thinking I'm going to launch it either tonight or tomorrow. I want to get a little bit more work done on it, but it's maineventmadness.com, and I'm sorry, Al, you're not listening anyway. It's maineventmadness.com. I feel should have been. But that's the beauty of having a website. You can evolve as
situations deemed necessary. And with this one, and Wix is an awesome platform to do that on. Makes it easy. So
Cheap plug.
absolutely cheap plug. Maybe we can get some kind of like sponsorship or something from them. All right, I'm just looking at this. Hey Wayne, did you know "Bullet for My Valentine"? Their song "Tears Don't Fall" came out in 1990. Yeah, music choice messed up a little bit.
I actually didn't.
No, it came out in like 2008, 2009. Maybe even 2007. Around that time, that's when it came out. Oh, look, your boss just came online. But guys, follow Mark on Twitter at @TheMarkMadison. He's my new co-host. Follow me on Twitter at John MEM Radio. Follow Wayne at WN_net. And we will be back on November 4th. Guys, if you missed any of today's show, as you'll hear in the outro momentarily, VOC Nation, we're finally back on VOC Nation. We'll be on there Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys are like me and have no life, and you guys want to check out a wrestling podcast, go check it out. Or you can check it out on Spreaker.com/show/Main Event Madness or Wrestling-News.net. It's a homecoming. Wayne has bitched and moaned and whined and complained. I am doing an outro. Anyway, Wayne has bitched and moaned and whined and complained about having a podcast exclusive to Wrestling-News.net, and for the most part, oh yes you are, for the most part, it is back home where it started, so Wayne is a little bit excited about that, I think, or at least I'm hopeful he is. That's your cue to say yes, asshole.
Yes, asshole.
I hate you. But guys, that is going to do it. Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday. We hope you enjoy the pay-per-view coming up. Lord willing, you guys will be back with us for a reboot, the restart. Flicking the switch, we're shuffling the deck, and we're going to do it all over again. Main Event Madness Radio. Well, we can't really use the old slogan. We don't have a website. Main Event Madness Radio, Madness Unleashed. There we go. How about that? Yeah, I had that one planned, Wayne. There's no way I came up with that on the cusp. That is going to do it, guys. We will see you back here. Our return, official return, next Wednesday, November 4th. Follow or like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Main Event Madness. Hit us up on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Player FM, whenever the hell they get their website back up. And, of course, iTunes. And show us some love, guys. Spread the word. Get the word out there about Main Event Madness Radio. We're coming back, and we're coming back in a big way. And we want you guys along for the ride. So, until next time, for Wayne Daly, Mark Madison, Aaron Ramadanov, who couldn't make it on here today, and the rest of us here at Main Event Madness Radio, I'm John Curry, signing off for the night. And like I said, Lord willing, we will have you back here next Wednesday night, where we do this little shindig all over again. Goodbye, everybody. The preceding broadcast was a Main Event Madness Network production. If you missed a part or all of tonight's show, head over to Spreaker.com/show/Main Event Madness for a complete archive. Or tune in Friday nights on blogtalkradio.com/VOC Nation at 6 p.m. Eastern for an encore presentation. Main Event Madness, your wrestling podcast, your wrestling website. Have a good one, everybody. So long.